Hello, YouTuber Woobers. It is the 1st of November. Wow. I'm watching my greenhouse. I'm growing greens in my raised room, and things have slowed down drastically, and it's mostly because it's gotten colder. And it's interesting because 6 months of rapid growth of every time I plant something, it usually takes off as far as sunflowers and peas, and it's just now it's time for reflections, stepping back and not being in the high growth mode, so forth. Last week's discussion was about uh, when you come to a crossroads to make the choice to go left or right. And there were some comments about, well, just build another road or learn to fly. And all those are all choices. And what it eventually is, it's the choice to go left or right or up or down is really about making the most loving choice for yourself. And making that loving choice for yourself instead of your most loving choice for somebody else. I guess that would be considered a martyr. Um, like, for example, I'm having an issue with my furnace, which I've kind of discovered today. Yesterday, I helped one of my daughters pay a speeding ticket so they wouldn't lose their license, and now it would have been nice to have that money available to go out and buy a high efficiency infrared electric heater that I can use to supplement the house, or even just my greenhouse. That would make a difference. But I kind of martyred myself because I know what happens when your license gets suspended. It becomes a very expensive endeavor to get it reinstated, and just another mess. Um, and they're going to pay me back, so it's just not going to be today. Um, and that's kind of tends to be that's what parents do. They take care of their kids, and they'll put their kids first before they put themselves first. And it's a different kind of thing in a way. Um, but on the other hand, putting yourself at a financial risk. I'm not really at financial risk. I put it on a credit card, so it's not like, but I could use that same credit card money for something that I could use for my own personal survival. So, it is what it is. I can beat myself up about it, and that's really what it is about shame. Uh, often, like for example, our parents or our mother will put shame on us as we're growing up, saying, I don't know, you do something inappropriate, they'll shame you, or perhaps that your father is abusive, so they'll blame the child because she wasn't abusive when there was no children around, and then once they started having children, the father or the mother became abusive because they had to add other, there's all kinds of reasons for dumping shame on another person. And you're even seeing that with the elections, that you've got one person talking about the other person and how awful they are, and you know or even a president saying that the Republican candidate has no experience to be president. Well, neither did he when he was elected. What experience did he have in running a country? They're not really looking at their own self. They're just trying to shame us all into choosing to vote for their candidate. And it's about reflections. And when you have the opportunity to step back from the topic at hand and look at both sides, in a equal look at both sides at the same time and see the paradigm between the two. It gives you the opportunity to figure out what's the most loving choice for yourself. And in all reality, when you make the most loving choice for yourself, it really is going to be the most loving choice for everybody. And you know, and that tends to be what some of us will do is we'll make the choices for our children, or we'll make choices for your neighbor, or you make the choices for your job, especially your job. I mean, I used to work 80-hour weeks. There were times when I was on overtime call 24/7 because nobody else would take on overtime for the particular product line that I was servicing. So I was on call, even if I had gone out of the state. I was still on call to work them through a problem so I can get back. And that's not necessarily it was good pay. I made a lot of money, but the money really didn't really sustain because it was all paying for just doing the job the next day. So, often in different parts of our lives, we basically martyr ourselves and make the choice for someone else than making it for ourselves. And if we put ourselves first, just like when you're on an airplane and they tell you about the safety equipment and how to put on how to buckle a seatbelt, which hopefully everybody already knows. If you're traveling with a child and the oxygen mask drops, you're supposed to put it on yourself before you put it on the child, because if you pass out, you're not going to be able to help the child. You know, so making the most loving choice for yourself is really the um, the way to do things, and then everything will reflection down. I do have an interesting shame technique that I might share with you in a different video, but at this point in time, I think that I'm going to stop. And also, I'll post a link to the next video of the Tuesday series, which gives you another piece to the puzzle. Now, they talk about a possibility of a reset happening in the future, and I would love one of you to post a comment on their YouTube channel and ask them what do they mean by a reset, and just see how they respond. Now, I could post that question, but it'd be more interesting if it comes from somebody other than me. So, um, hopefully, I've talked about it in the past, to have some means of survival outside of support from your government. You should have um, emergency supplies, or you should have set yourself up for survival, covering food, water, shelter, clothing, healthcare, and education as a way of making all those things work together. Um, and if you've incorporated that into your life, your daily life, then that's a good thing. I'm running the wood stove to warm the place. It doesn't warm the whole place, but it does well. And although the heating system didn't warm the whole place either, so it's at least something to think about. So as that, um, I am going to close for today, and I wish everybody has a wonderful time. I really should have you look at the behind the scenes information about the Democratic person, because there's been a lot of chivalry going around. How they say, so too will say, it doesn't matter who wins, and it probably really doesn't matter. It probably would be better if Johnson won, or the lady that I can't quite remember, Jill wins. But in all reality, what we really need is more of a combination. I mean, what if Hillary and Trump won and they were president and vice president, two of them? What if? Would that be a cool thing? At any rate, wish you all well. Ta ta.